All right, so regular AR verbs. I'm going to remind you, we already know 4 verbs, tener, ser, estar, and ir. Go back, make sure you know those words. Let's see here. So, tener, ser, estar, and ir. Make sure you know what those mean. Make sure you know how to conjugate them, because what you're about to learn is hopefully going to make all this verb stuff make a little bit more sense. So as far as verbs work, we know that, for example, if we have the verb tener, we need to know what it means. Without knowing what it means, that's pretty useless. So we know tener is to have, and then we've just got the conjugations memorized. So we know that tengo means I have, tienes means you have, and that's just the conjugation that you use. Just like in English, we use am, is, or are. We don't say he am, that doesn't make sense. It's got to be I am. We don't say I are, we say they are, or we are. So it's the same thing, it's just the way that verbs work. So let's go back up here. The way that regular verbs work, the 4 verbs we already learned are not regular. So regular verbs, that's all the verbs in this chapter. The way that they work is you take the verb, like hablar or bailar. You first off need to know what they mean, so definitely be working on that. But then as far as actually conjugating them, we've got a set of verb endings that we want to memorize. And this is about to make your life a whole lot easier. You are more than doubling the amount of verbs you can use just in this lesson, all right? So you're going to take the AR off. So if your verb is hablar, take off the AR, and that leaves you with your stem. Write that stem down the 6 times for the 6 different conjugations. And then you add your new ending. So if you want to say not just to speak, but I speak, then I is yo, so we add an O there. So hablo means I speak. If I want to say we speak, you know that we is nosotros, so you add amos. So hablamos means we speak. If I want to say you are speaking, if it's informal, you is to, so we're going to add as, and hablas is you are speaking. If I want to say they are speaking, ellos and ellas are they, so we add an A in there. Hablan means they are speaking. And then we know ustedes means you all, so it can also mean you all are speaking. The other you all, vosotros, if we add ais, habláis means you all are speaking, and that would be informal in Spain. And then if we want to say he or she or you are speaking, you are speaking, he is she speaking, she is speaking, or it is speaking, then I'm going to add an A there. So habla. So again, the first step is really to memorize what the verbs mean. The second step is to memorize these verb endings. And then understanding, just how it works. So let's look at the verb bailar. Bailar means to dance. And then if we've got our verb endings memorized, then it's fairly simple. So if we want to say we are dancing, we is this one. And we add amos, bailamos, we are dancing. If I want to say you are dancing, you is to, add as, bailas. If we want to say he is dancing, that one goes here, baila. You all are dancing is here, add an, bailan. If I want to say y'all are dancing in Spain informally, ais, bailais. And if I want to say I am dancing, add an O, bailo. So it's the same endings no matter what the verb is. So anytime I say I am doing the action, it's going to end in O. Anytime we are doing the action, it ends in amos, and so on. So let's look at these questions. This would be a great place to pause the video and try these out yourself. So let's look at them. I speak. Do you speak? We're swimming. Does he dance? Those are our verbs. All right? So to say I speak, We want to know that to speak is hablar. Take off the AR, and it's I, which is that conjugation, add an O, hablo, and then inglés y español. And you guys know I can say yo hablo if I want to. The yo is optional. Now let's look at this one, a question. Do you speak Spanish? Now remember, if you're asking a question, you can say a sentence and say you speak Spanish. So you speak, take off the AR. It's a to conjugation, so it's going to be AS. Tú hablas español. Put question marks around it and then say it like a question. Tú hablas español. And now it's a question. Or, really common, we can switch the verb and the subject. So we could say the hablas first, then tú, and then español. Hablas tú español. All right, let's look at this next one. We're swimming at the pool. So you need to know to swim first off. If you don't know that, you can know all the endings and it's not going to help you. So to swim is nadar. So take off that AR. It's we. We is nosotros. Add amos. And then en la piscina. And again, we can say nosotros there if we want to. Oh, and same thing with the question. We could just say hablas español, and that would mean do you speak Spanish? The last one, does he dance well? So we need to know to dance is bailar. So take off the AR. It's he. So he ends in an A, baila. Now again, this is a question. So he is él. Put question marks around it. He dances bien. Or we could switch the subject and the verb and say baila él bien. And again, we don't have to say the L. Now, with these bottom two conjugations, the A and the AN, you are more likely to say the subject just because there are three different options. If it's clear who we're talking about, you typically won't include the subject, but then if it's not obvious who you're talking about, then you'll want to include the subject. So that is part one of regular verbs. Part two is just getting in your notes what these verbs mean. So, what is this on top here? Okay, so for this, in your notes, just write those verbs down. Sometimes it's helpful to maybe draw a picture, maybe for to wait. I know you guys have missed my drawings. You could draw a clock on one side and then esperar on the other side. And that way you are kind of training your brain to see a picture instead of just an English word. So that's up to you. If you would rather write to wait on one side and esperar on the other side, or maybe even do both, that's not a bad idea. So I hope that this was helpful. If you need a little bit more help, you don't quite get it, remember in Voces there is a video. If you'll open up the chapter, it's chapter 5, and then open up videos, and there should be something about AR verbs. If it's in Spanish, it'll say Verbos, Terminados, and something like that. So, you can do that. Also, if you will search on YouTube, Spanish, regular AR verbs, there are songs, there are people explaining it, there are tons of resources. And finally, I am on Zoom around 10 o'clock each day. At least for now, that plan seems to be working pretty well. And I do send a remind text right around that time. If you are not getting the text, you need to make sure that you sign up, because I'm sending it to all of my classes at the same time. So if you're not getting it, you're not on there. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Try out the activities. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That is how you grow. Just don't leave yourself there. Ask me questions, send me emails, all the things. Talk to you guys later.